I was up in Michigan. I'm from Illinois, Ottawa, Illinois, and I was up in Michigan playing a baseball tournament. And it so happened that the shop, like a skateboard shop or some shop right by the hotel, sold discs. And me and some friends bought one. And sure enough, tournament was over. It was my last tournament ever for baseball. So we bought these discs and kind of threw them around. And by chance, they had just opened a course, Fox River Park, in my hometown of Ottawa. So came home and the course had literally just opened. So I think it was kind of fate that I
That sounds
found.
like it.
Yeah. Wow. When did you start playing competitively?
So that was in 2002. I didn't start playing competitively for a few more years. I went to college at Illinois State University, and I started playing some of the leagues in Bloomington Normal and going over to the Peoria Frisbee Club and playing in their leagues. That would have been 2004-ish, 2005-ish, and I think I played my first PDGA tournament in I played one in '05, and then I started playing a little bit more in '06, and I played Am Worlds in 2007 in Milwaukee.
Oh,
Cool, cool. All right, and so sort of in the earlier part of your career, when you're just having a couple of discs, what about the sport itself kind of drew you in and started collecting more discs and sort of being more into the competitive aspect of
Yeah, I mean, having played sports all my life, whether in team sports, I should say, I played soccer, baseball, basketball. I was always practicing, going to practices, playing games, playing tournaments, all that stuff, working out for that. And when I went to college, there was kind of a void, and disc golf, came along at that right time, and it helped fill that competitive void that was in my life. And then, just started meeing all these great people who were disc golfers, and for anyone that's thrown a frisbee, I don't think I really need to explain, but
wow.
throw a frisbee and or a disc and you throw it and it does what you want it to do. It's a very addicting thing. So
very
and
satisfying.
here I am 15 years later, uh, playing, and disc golf is it's more or less my life.
Hey Dana, it's Keith here.
Hey Keith.
Um, when you first started disking, was it something you felt like you were pretty good at right away? Did you have a knack for it when you first started, or did it kind of crummy?
You know what? I would have liked to think that I had a knack at it, but definitely not. I was able to beat on my friends that picked up the sport at the same time as me. Not all the time, but being fairly athletic, I kind of picked it up quick. But it to get to a higher level to actually get good, it took me a long time and a lot of trial and error. But yeah, it was.
Yeah, that's definitely what the sport is. A lot of trial and error, and it'll mess with your head. That's for sure. Um, I've read online that you don't actually tour full time. Uh, what do you do back home to support yourself and your?
Yeah, so right now I do a few different things. My main gig, I am a disc golf park representative. Disc golf park is a full turnkey disc golf course solution. What we do is provide everything that you need for a disc golf course, starting with professional design, targets, tee pads, tee signs, all the mapping for that. So I do sales with Disc Golf Park, and then of course design the courses with them. Um,
Oh wow.
yeah, so that's pretty cool. Not It's not as glorious as it seems because it's a lot of phone calls and emails and
Yeah.
uh, maybe getting ignored or then finally getting somewhere and then all of a sudden you lose it for whatever reason. So,
Mhm.
but I'm getting better at it, I believe, and I think I do have a knack for designing courses. So I do enjoy that. When I'm not doing that, I also substitute teach during the school year, and then in the summer is when I I play a lot of tournaments now, and we also have my daughter is going to be 2 years old in July, so I'm able to spend time with her, and she goes to daycare some part of the time. So yeah, I'm pretty busy.
Yeah, it
Sounds like
definitely
it.
sounds like it. We're from the Illinois area too. We're from the Quad Cities,
Oh, yeah.
and have you designed anything in the Illinois area, like maybe around you up in the Ottawa area?
Yeah. I've worked on a few different courses there. I've got some co-designs with a guy named Dan Nagel. We worked on IVCC, Illinois Valley Community College, with West Black over there. There's a 9-hole course with dual tees. Helped out with that design. Skydive Chicago has a private course that's in Ottawa. Marilla Park in Streeter. It's a really beautiful park. Dan and I also designed that. Had a little bit further south of Streeter, Pontiac, Illinois. I'm actually running a tournament there, May 13th, Swinging Bridge Open. But that's
nice.
Yeah, in Marilla Park. It's a really beautiful park. Another really fun 18-hole course. It's something that beginners will like because you're not going to lose discs, and then if you're a more serious player, there's enough challenge to keep you coming back. But those are some that I've done that way. Up here in Tinley Park, just east of me now, we put in the first disc golf park in Illinois. I guess it finally opened end of last year. So that's about it. There's a few others that I've worked on or consulted on, helped out a little bit with Round Barn Farm. I've got one going in Elgin in Rolling Knolls, Illinois. That's going to open in June, I think. So I've had my hand on a few projects, and definitely have a lot more that I'm working on. And unfortunately, they generally don't happen overnight. So it's a lot of working and waiting. And
Do you see a lot of growth in that business? Does it
Yeah.
make it seem like the sport is actually growing as a whole when you get more, or you get more people calling about wanting disc courses around their area?
Oh, definitely. Like we attend some conferences throughout the year, and people. I'm finding that more and more people are coming up, and they already know about disc golf, and I think that's
That's awesome.
But we're really busy when we go to the conferences, talking to a lot of people, making a lot of contacts. But one of the things is I'm not having to explain disc golf as much, and I think that's a sign that it definitely is growing.
Yeah.
And so with these sort of the upbringing of these courses and people's knowledge growing, are there any innovations or sort of anything maybe in the next 5 to 10 years that you could see disc golf implement to sort of bring it to the masses or bring it to like the ESPNs or things like that?
That's a tough question. I think one thing that I don't know on the course design side, it's so hard to design like an everyday course that challenges, say, that will work well for, say, like the Disc Golf Pro Tour or the Disc Golf World Tour, because you want to really challenge those upper level players, but that might not be the best thing for, say, a park district. But one thing that we're seeing more and more is golf courses turning to disc golf to help keep their doors open or to help bring in more added revenue. And with that's opening more doors up for us. But I think that the great work that Steve Dodge and the Disc Golf Pro Tour and you see in the Disc Golf World Tour, that's what's going to help bring disc golf more mainstream. I don't know if it'll ever get ESPN status, but I mean, we're sure seeing quite a few aces on
Yeah, absolutely.
SportsCenter top 10. So that's a good sign. But
You know what I don't like about it? Whenever it is on there, it's awesome. Like the announcers are always like kind of backhanding compliments almost with it.
yeah, and I've caught onto that a little bit too. And the way I look at it is we're getting disc golf, more eyes on disc golf.
Yeah, it's good.
So I mean, even if they do have their little jokes or snide remarks, to me it's no big deal. It's because we're on that big stage and we're getting in front of a lot of eyeballs.
Yeah.
And I think it's only going to do good for us.
I thought it was really interesting when you brought up how other actual golf courses are coming to you and talk about maybe actually bringing disc golf to their course. Because I work pretty closely in my job with golf courses, and I've had a lot of guys come to me when they hear that I disc, or that ask me like, "Hey, do you think a lot of like people would come and play if we opened up disc golf on our golf course?" And I think it's a great idea. I think it's a good idea for both sports because golf is kind of dying. I almost feel like right now. So
Yeah, that's I would say that's accurate. More and more golf courses are closing, and it's, you know what, disc golf isn't right for every golf course, but in certain situations, which are many of the, many courses, it will work, and it will bring people in. What they're finding when they put in a disc golf course on a golf course is disc golfers, we're used to going to parks that have no amenities. They don't have
yeah,
even have a bathroom. So when we get the opportunity to go to a golf course and play disc golf, we're gonna get a cart. We're gonna, if it's
Yep.
a
Absolutely.
cooler, we're gonna eat in the restaurant. We're gonna come and spend money. And disc golfers are just dying for something like that. And
Yeah.
these golf course owners and operators are finding that out, and it's definitely bringing in some added revenue for them.
Um. Do you travel for tournaments as like still pretty heavily or not as much nowadays?
Definitely not as much, and that's uh, due in part to having.
Or ambassador status?
Yeah, but once summer hits, because my wife is a teacher, so
Yeah.
leaving during the school year is pretty difficult.
Difficult.
Mm.
Yeah.
does
I
she
can see
travel
that.
around with you?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's
she's always
awesome.
traveled.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, we've been she's been going to tournaments with me for a while, and then we just bought some airline tickets. We're going to Utah for the Utah Open, and then
Oh, awesome.
Portland, Oregon for the Beaver State
Oh,
Fling
wow.
here
Yeah.
Beautiful area.
end of May, beginning of June. But the whole family's going, so that's going to be exciting. It's going to be a little different than
Yeah.
the old days when would have been just us two, and we might have driven and made it, month or however long out of it.
Yeah.
But we're flying. It's gonna be a little more expensive, but it'll be better than, in my opinion, than me going and leaving them at home. And
Oh,
Yeah,
for sure.
for sure.
I'm sure you play better when they're there too.
but yeah. So I mean, once summer hits, I'm gonna be really busy with playing tournaments, and it's gonna be reminiscent of a few years ago when I was playing a lot of tournaments. But as for now, I'm playing a lot more local stuff, and I played a few tournaments in Wisconsin uh, in early April, and then also made it over the Quad Cities. Did the Rumble, which is one of
Yeah.
my favorite events of the year. So I'm just playing more local during the school year, and then hitting it through through October or so when I'm able to.
Oh, that's awesome.
What are your favorite tournaments that you try to hit every year, even if you can't travel as much?
It's a good question. I'd have to probably break that down regionally. Starting on the East Coast, really there's two events, and that's the Green Mountain Championships at Smuggler's Notch in Vermont, and then the Vibram Open, which is at Maple Hill, just outside of Boston, in Leicester, Massachusetts. And then heading into the Midwest, I mean, I just said it a minute ago about the Rumble. It's one of my favorite events every year. It's one that I haven't been able to quite put it together there, but I always seem to have a great round at Westlake and jump a bunch of spots the final day. And this year it's no different. So the Rumble is one of my favorite courses, and it's just, I really like the Quad City disc golf scene, and then the courses are great. So it's a fun event. I've got a lot of friends down there, and it's fun to see them. Not a lot of them are. Some of them are not playing as much, so I might only see them at the Rumble. But yeah, Midwest, that would be one. If we go up to the Rocky Mountain region, I would say the Zootown Open in Missoula, Montana. I've played that one a number of times. That's a great event. Yep. And then West Coast, it's got to be Beaver State Fling, being my favorite event out there. It's Milo MacGyver's a beautiful park. Portland is about a half hour, 40 minutes from there, and Portland's a great city. A lot of fun things to do out that way.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's hard to narrow it down to just one, but regionally those would be the ones that are my favorites.
Awesome, dude. Well, I think that basically wraps it up for our questions we had for you. Any sponsors, anyone you want to thank out there?
Yeah, but I've got a question for you guys.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But I'll thank my sponsors while it's on my mind. I'm thrown with Discmania Discs. My apparel sponsor is Paragon Disc Golf. Miles Parkhill out of Springfield, Illinois, does a lot of great work. And then I am insured by Ledgestone Insurance and Nate Heinold, Ledgestone Insurance Open. So check them out if you need insurance. My question for you guys. What do you guys think about that Bears draft move? Are you guys? Is this the bulk of your show later? Should I tune
No,
in?
No,
we can touch on it here with you.
Yeah,
Dana.
we can touch on
Yeah, as a lifelong Bears fan, it's a little alarming when you see that we go up one pick. We give all those picks for one pick. I don't hate the pick because I do like the fact that a quarterback we can probably have sort of in our system at least for a year or two. Develop him, see what happens. But it's a little weird that we kind of got hosed by the Niners, in my opinion.
especially with how they just it's like a $2 million contract.
Yeah,
And
we're
now
paying him a
it's-
lot, but I don't know. They must really believe in Mitch to go up like we did.
Yeah, and then it also kind of ties pace to the Bears for maybe a few more years because presumably, we won't see. What's Mitch's nickname? Mr. Biscuit. We won't see Mr. Biscuit starting for a few more years, so we can't really
Exactly.
You have
You
to
don't
stick
want to
with-
give up pace and sort of what he's building,
Yeah.
I guess, at this
Yeah.
point. So yeah, it kind of wraps into our franchise for another. I don't hate the pick. I don't necessarily like everything.
Sure. All right. Well, cool. I was just wondering what you guys thought on that. I saw that you are Bears fans, so
I'm actually a Tennessee Titans fan, but
it's
our pick was kind of weird too. We got a guy that was like, whatever. We'll see what happens. But yeah, thanks again, man, for joining us. A lot to us today to chat with us for a little bit.
Yeah. Hey, thank you guys. I appreciate you having me on and letting me jabber on about a few things. I really appreciate it, and good luck with the rest of your podcast. And I'll definitely be tuning in a little bit more here.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thanks a lot,
Yeah,
Dana.
thanks again.
Good one.
All right. See ya.
Later.